boots on here. Gonna tidy this place up somewhat. Tidy means pushing everything to the side, obviously. Today I've got these two things. They are gas regulators, gas solenoid valves for combi boilers. So there's a bit of detail on that one, a Sigma, and this one is a Honeywell. I'm going to take them apart just to get the metal, the steel separated from the aluminium. They have lots of different screws and different fittings on them, different sizes of Torx screw and whatnot. So we're going to need some of those. Let's see what's in here. So this is just to separate it out for different kinds of metals. That'll either be zinc or aluminium. It's probably zinc, but I'm not entirely sure. That's too big on that one. So these are not going back together. I really don't care at all about them. But if it's zinc, you see, I think these may be zinc, and I want that for casting. But not today or tomorrow, just some point in the future. Well, some point tomorrow. What would speed this up a lot is if I put a Torx bit into my drill. In fact, you never know, actually. While I'm faffing around here, is this the right size? Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, that's that off. Let's set that one aside for now. We'll get to that. So there's some kind of a regulator diaphragm there. That screw doesn't want to come out. Another Torx style fitting there. I unscrew that. Just a plastic plug basically with a spring behind it. And these are things that I'll hang on to. Springs like that come in handy. There's another Torx thing there. It just unscrews as well. This is quite easy, and that's staked on, so you see it's got little spots there where the zinc or aluminium is rolled over the edge. So the only way to get that out is to smash it out. So just rip this bit out like a heathen, pull that out, and then that's a job for the vise, so I'll do that later on or off camera. In here, another spring just comes out. O-ring. That looks like it's just sitting on top there. Some kind of a jet or something. Yeah. Cork washer or gasket even. You know, all those parts probably cost a fortune. That jet looks like it's not part of the same metal. So I might have to hit that out somehow. This one still held on here. While I've got it in my hand, take out the remainder. So this is the Honeywell one. Gas, the arrow's going that way, so gas comes in here and goes out here. That's the big regulator, I'd say. So that's just metal, tin. Smells like natural gas in here. This thing, yeah, I shouldn't just dog these things off, but that's a regulator that lets it come from one side to another. Where's it coming in from? Center, perhaps? I don't know. That spring doesn't like that. Something else in there, another valve. Oh, so that's the solenoid valve then. Okay. This little earth piece, it's brass. This little guy is brass as well, I think. Oh, okay, that's that off. Bit of moisture in there. Another rubber gasket. Now, what's keeping this one together? This is probably, I'm not going to dissect this any further because that's plastic. There could be a copper coil or two in here, because that is that's magnetic there, I think. Yeah. No, it's just steel. It's just a steel bar coated in plastic. there's an electrocoil. This is a solenoid valve. So there's a coil of wire in here, in this black cylinder, and another one in here that causes these little guys to pop in and out in a controlled fashion. So that's just a little bar of metal, steel, or something magnetizable. But I don't want to get in here any further really, because there isn't much more to. Well, I can keep going up to a point. That's that off. That's folded over. I wouldn't mind getting that little tiny piece of brass out. So these things should. Oh, it's got something held on the top there. Push that in. Oops. Slide that out. Yeah. Oh, that's all. Loads of springs in this one. Brass springs, or yeah, it looks like brass or copper there. So they're good for recycling. There's a little tab there. Oh no, this is the tab I was after. So how does it come in like that? Another bit of brass. There's probably little bits of brass in that plastic, but whether or not it's worth smashing this plastic open to get these things apart is another person's business. It's not a job for me. More tin plate there. In here, there's a couple of screws. Oh dear. They look like adjusting screws or something, but they're pretty stuck in position. So this is somewhat like a carburetor, but not quite. What's keeping that in? Is that held on somehow? Yeah, it's kind of reminds me of a carburetor. Okay, that's that rubber plunger off the end there. That's things falling through. So this piece of plastic maybe is Torx again, because the other bits were. Nope. It's just trouble. Let's try it with the pliers. Doesn't want to grip it, too big. Yeah, not entirely too worried about that. It's not a big deal. If you're recycling it, it doesn't have to be that clean. What is in here? I have a feeling something's pushed in from this side and so it doesn't want to come out. Yeah, a little bit of brass foil or something in there, look. Something. Or steel. It's pressed in anyways, so that's not coming out. And I think there might be little ones pressed in here and here as well, little jets. But there you go. It's either zinc or alley. Let's have a look at the other one. Let's change over bits, because this one is safety to security Torx and Phillips. So there's a brass piece here. That's where the jet comes out. This is off some kind of a strange water heater that I hadn't seen before. Bit of tin. Bit of brass, decent bit of brass there. Let's get something to hook that O-ring off, clean up this brass. Wow, that O-ring is cracked and dead. No flexibility left in it at all. This one's not much better. So that's just a big lump of brass, pretty cool. Brass screw here in the center. I wasn't expecting to see so much brass in these bits, but then that's okay. Bit of cable from the earth, another earth tab on here, but that's manganese coated something or other, I think. Passivated with manganese or something like that. I don't really know what I'm talking about there. Solenoid valve. That's an earth tab there, is it? Something like that. Yeah, I presume it's earth because it's going onto the casing. There's a chance that this earth tab is brass. There is a chance that it isn't. It looks like brass when on the sheared edge there you can see the yellow. Yeah, you can see that yellow there. That's brass. Cool. Those pins may also be brass, and again, there's probably copper in those solenoids, and that's just metal, steel. But if there is copper in them, whether it's worth getting it out is another job. More of these screws. They don't really want to come out. Almost. There is probably a O-ring seal or something in behind them. Right with a knife. Weird. Come back to it. Let's see. This plastic plug. More screws in here. They're completely coated with that's not coming out yet. Completely coated with Loctite or something like that. Bit of copper here. That's the inlet pipe, I think. Again, an O-ring that needs to be crushed to get that pipe out. Oh, it's tight. That'll do it. Yeah, so that's just zinc plated or galvanized tin, and that's copper. Copper, as E-Waste Ben says. Oh, that's dead as well. This could be quite an old boiler. Dead. Now, safety nubbins. So this is a regular Torx style bit here, these black ones, but they have this safety depression or pin in the center. Hopefully it's one of these. This is my rough set that didn't cost very much. For taking stuff apart it's fine, but I don't want to use the good set that I spent money on, and it doesn't seem to be that one. Because I don't want to wreck it. Doesn't want to work. What are we doing? Yeah, I think that might be right. Let's see. T25. No. It's just chowder in my bit. Yeah, okay, whatever happened there, it altered the form of the tip on that one screw. And now they're coming out, so that's cool. It doesn't like that one, for whatever reason. These safety bits are a pain. Sometimes you can break off the tabs inside them, but other times you can't. This one, every time I'm doing it, it gets stuck. You can see that red paint, some kind of glue. Oh, come on. If one screw won't come out, I might as well not have taken out any of them, but we'll get there. I can always revert to my good set, but I don't want to use the good set for scrapping stuff. You want to save that for repairing special toasters. Another spring, another gasket, another plunger in there. Ooh, look at that little valve. Look, just a little flap. It's not a valve actually. It's some kind of a. Oops, there's the plunger fell out. It's some kind of a deflector. How am I going to get in here? I think I've chewed up the inside of the screw. Let's get the remainder of these out before we change the bit. There's one. This is quite frustrating having to remove the thing each time. There we go. So that's the solenoid plunger. Appears to be brass in here. Oh, there's liquid in that. Weird. Weird. What's going on here? Oh, it's all. It ain't water. God knows what that is. Feels like some kind of oil. Right, come out of there, screw. Come out of there, U. There's a little tapered pin in there. Now, this probably lifts up, does it? It's riveted through. I just want to pull off that piece of brass, really. That's all I want, even though it's tiny. It's not that tiny, actually. No, that's no good. That's solenoid over there. What's going on there? So that's a metal plunger, and the brass is fitted on the end there, like a little ball thing in a carburetor. Inlet float valve in a carburetor, kinda. That's what it reminds me of. So I'll just prise that up with my fingies, with the screwdriver. That slides out. Here's a little attractive metal weight. Probably has a mass if you were able to measure it. And this has a little steel pin going through it. So if I can put that on there at an angle, that will pull it through. And you've got an attractive miniature brass cannon for your toy set, if you were to chop one end of it off or something like that. Now my fingies are all sticky. What's on this side? So I've wrecked this screw. Can I get it off with a pliers? Oh, there's a screen fell out there as well. It's the call for the little vice grips, I suspect. Oh, looks like we're off. Are we? It's loose now. Let's see if it can. There we go. That's it off. All right, safety bits, away you go. More tin. More rubber and tin. It's a tiny piece of tin there. Diaphragm. I don't know if anybody repairs these things. I doubt it. I'd say you just replace the whole unit. So that's maybe isn't even tin. It might be aluminium. Try it with a magnet. Yeah, it's aluminium. Okay. What's left? This thing. A couple of screws. Something hexagonal in there. This plug should come off like that. Okay, that looks like brass. There's another rubber. There's another plastic thing here. Whoa, there's bits flying out everywhere. Another little spring. I wonder do they assemble these by hand. There's a little brass dealie. There's another spring in there. I'm not going to fuss over that. That looks like brass, but what is it? Oop, pop, pushed it out. There's something else down in there. Oh, there's another diaphragm here, and this again. Oh, that one's broken. It's got that staked on metal ring thing. Oh, there's the ring off that time, so that's all I did is just pop it off. Little spreader, little spring. And this thing looks like it might be pushed in there from this side. But it has a hexagonal head on this side, so let's see if there's any way to get that out. No, I'm just chewing up the head. There we go. Okay. Don't know what we're doing here. Is this going to come out? It maybe is. Yeah. It looks like plastic, not brass, which is a shame. Wow, comes out a long way. Okay, it's just a plastic thing. And I suspect that little hole in here, in this one, Might be steel pressed in, but it's too small to deal with. This one then, it's rubber. More oil in here. There's the plunger out. Another one of those attractive little plungers. So they would move under the action of the solenoid. And that looks like brass. There's metal, there's magnetizable metal there, so steel might just be the whole thing, or might just be there's a ball pushed into the center there. Let's see if we can't pull this apart. That looks, obviously looks like yellow brass. That might be a job for the vise later on. Now a couple of things here. So there's a little tiny down in there, little steel thing pushed in there again. And there's a couple of screws here that are completely glued in place. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get them out or where they even go. This one here seems to go to this thing, which is adjusting this diaphragm. So if I just pull that out instead of fussing about it, then it's gone. If I can. This pliers doesn't grip like that. Right, so I've left a bit behind there. And there's a big plastic plunger in here. What is holding that? Oh, okay, metal. That's aluminium. This looks like it's just pushed in. That's broken. Missed my eye just by a fraction. Yeah, there's a little lip there and there's little wings that hold it in. It's not designed to come out. No, they're all going to break out, I think, first. Before I even get them out. So there's just those two brass screws that wouldn't jump out earlier on. Where are we? You touch them, they just slide back in again. They'll just slide away. Pointier pliers, but they don't have a square grip on them at all, actually. Need a little tiny watchmaker's pliers or something here. Let's see what we've got. Just farting around now, really. Some kind of a retaining something in there to stop them dropping out. I wonder if the top's been rolled over. It maybe has. In which case... it's foolish, but you never know. Metals are as light as they are. That's it. So what's going on? What was holding it in? Now I've stuck it on the other side. Yeah, there's some kind of a little rollover there, so it can't get out. How can I get it out now is the question. Sounds like it's cracked. Yeah, okay. So it is threaded and it was slightly captive as well. But there's a brass screw. You could probably just have crushed it while it was still attached. Squeezing it in the pliers gets that brass out. Now, 2 more screws, which are presumably also brass, and if the same thing is to be true, well then, let's go for it. No, that wasn't a screw, that was something else, right? Yeah, so there's brass. Now, can I unscrew that? Can I snap it off? It's not loose, you see, so snapping it's probably not going to work, but it's clicking. Yeah, there we go. Just another one of the same, possibly. And what's in here? Oh, there's a little jet, and that says vent there. So P out, vent, and RQ adjust. And each of those little jets have a steel thing at the bottom of them. So it's just RQ adjust now, is this valve thing. That's the steel bit out of it. Don't know how to dig that out. Don't know how to dig out those little guys. Right, so they are what they are, but if you're recycling that as aluminium or zinc, I think that's zinc. It feels heavy. Oh, and this piece of plastic here. More plastic, a little plastic plunger thing. Yeah, that's about it. Now, this screw here still is a screw. Let's just try it. Don't even know if yeah, it just, well, maybe I'm getting in here then. Okay. So the last one is the easiest one. Right. RQ adjust. You done? Covered in sauce. It's quite a big one actually. It looks like brass as well. With an O-ring and a load of paint on top. Get that O-ring off. There we go. That's as far as I'm going to get with them. Let's sort things out. Right then, the scale is about as accurate as I want to deal in. So, waste tin. Way up to there. Try and get it all on. I'll put the solenoid, no I won't put solenoid valves on there, but that's most of the tin there that's up. So you're up on 350 grams of tin. Tin's worth 10 pence, so that's worth about 10 pence a kilo, so that's worth about 3 pence. Zinc or aluminium. What have we got here for 2 of these? 500 and 600 grams, let's call that. Let's be generous. 600 grams of that stuff. 600 grams, at the moment it's £5, 55 pence a kilo for that. So that is 55 pence times 0.6. You're looking at about 30p, something like that. 30p, bit of copper. If there's 25 grams in it, I don't know, an ounce. It's worth its weight in pennies, so what would that be? About 10 pence, something like that. Brass, again, it's worth its weight roughly in pennies. There's nothing there to throw the scale. Just put the rest of the bits on, but it's not going to make any difference on a scale like this. You might be talking 100 grams, you might be talking 50 grams. It's not 100 grams by the looks of things. If it's 100 grams, it's 30 pence. 28 pence, something like that at the moment. Prices are around £2.80, £3 where I am. But what I'll do is I'll take it over here. The rest of the stuff's just nonsense, screws and bits and bobs. Throw them all in with the light iron. This is my brass bucket at the moment of small brass. I got this door handle. I thought it was quite attractive, kind of hammered finish. It looks to be factory made at some level, but then kind of finished to look old. It's off a very old door that I found. Bits of the inside of locks that I've been messing with, taking apart really. This was off a couple of door locks. What have I got here? Yeah, these bits were off a couple of door locks. Let's just throw them up on the scale. I'll throw this stuff in here with the brass. A couple of door locks. If I could even get it on the scale. That might be bronze, you know, it doesn't look like brass. This is close to brass anyways. Yeah, so half a kilo, that's £1.50 from 2 door locks. Maybe that's better. Better time spent scrapping. And then I just put all my springs and screws and stuff in this bin, because I keep the small bits away separate. So what did I get to then? Maybe 70 pence of scrap in what's taken me half an hour or thereabouts, 20 minutes, half an hour to scrap out. 20 pence, what did I say, 20 pence, 80 pence, let's say, for half an hour, £1.60 an hour. Now the real question is, what's the difference between that and the price I would have gotten if I'd put it straight through as irony aluminium? So let's say if that was, what was that, half a kilo. So let's say there was a kilo in it of irony aluminium. That's about 20 pence. It's about 20 pence. So the difference then is 40 pence for your half hour's work, rather than just bringing it in as irony aluminium. I know my numbers aren't great there, but it's, when you're dealing with this kind of tiny numbers, it's not worth the hassle. It's not worth scrapping. I don't think that's worth scrapping at all, unless you want the little bits out of it for some reason. But also, sometimes I just get pleasure from taking things apart, and that's really all it comes down to. Questions or comments, leave them below. Thanks for watching. See you later.